Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Jordan. Jordan is from South Wales in Wales in the UK. So let's see what Jordan has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello Jordan, how are you?
How are we doing? You okay?
I'm very well. Thanks so much for taking the time this evening for the interview. Thank you.
That's okay.
So tell me, how was your weekend?
Yeah, it's been okay. I woke up today ill, so
Oh,
yeah,
are you okay for the interview?
yeah. No, I'm fine for the interview. Yeah, I'm okay for that.
How come you woke up a bit sick today?
I'm not sure. I just must be something going around all the time of year.
Oh, so tell me, besides these sad events, what has been the highlight of your weekend so far?
To be honest, it's been quite quiet. I'm in the middle of recovering from surgery still, so there's not much I can do at the moment. I've just been focused on whether songwriting or just thinking of other sort of projects to go ahead with. Really, that's all that's been on my mind.
Oh my God, thanks so much for taking the time in this time of, you're recovering from surgery, you're not feeling very well
No,
today.
it's all good. It's something to. I love doing new things and experiencing new sort of ventures. So doing a little interview like this is it's quite fascinating.
So tell me, where are you from, Jordan?
I'm from South Wales.
I'm born and raised.
Yeah, born and raised. Yeah.
So tell me something interesting about South Wales.
I don't know if I can tell you much things interesting about South Wales, but the most fascinating thing is probably the pronunciation of cities and places. Obviously, the Welsh language being quite a funny one, but I don't really know much fascinating things about Wales itself. Not South Wales anyway.
So tell me, how far are you from Cardiff?
Oh, I'm literally like a 15-minute drive away from Cardiff.
Oh, wow, amazing. Okay, Jordan, so let's start the interview talking about your career as a songwriter, as a musician. So tell me how everything started.
In terms of the venture as a musician, so I've always loved music, always been into music. I come from a musical family. I've got a family member that either plays an instrument or sings.
Hmm.
Um, I've always loved like songwriting and things, and I kind of went through a period in school where I decided to write songs. And long story short, um, I was a troubled teenager. In some ways, I decided to have a bit of a drink when I shouldn't have. And as a result, then kids and teenagers like, oh, I dare you to do this, and I got dared to basically sing a little bit of a song in a voice note, and it got absolutely exposed all over the school. And
Oh, wow,
and at the time, I actually genuinely I got quite, I would say, looking back on it now, really bullied for it. Um,
interesting.
to the point I gave it up for years. I to this day I have that song that got leaked sang back to me today. And we're talking that was 9 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's just wild. Obviously, it must have been somewhat decent for people to remember it 9 years later. But yeah, I kind of picked up on the songwriting journey then after all this time. So 2016, that happened. I stopped, and I only picked it back up. I'd say December last year to January this year.
Hmm.
And so obviously I've just released my first song on all platforms 2 weeks ago, and the basis of that is um, obviously it's about loss, and for me, I wrote about the loss of parents. Was I'm still fortunate enough to have both my parents, but I started having these like really like vivid nightmares back in January about losing my parents. And I was as a result, I was having panic attacks in my sleep, and I was waking up hyperventilating, waking up, just sweating, cold, crying, whatever it was, and I was having that like every single night on repeat. And I
Wow.
thought, what, there's clearly something connecting my fear of my parents getting older, and then it's like obviously staying in the back of my head, and then obviously it's coming out more clear in my dreams, nightmares. Um, So yeah, from that I thought, I'm gonna write it down, get it out of the head, and see whether that helps. And that's how the song originally formed then, because it's like, there are other people who are actually going through that, and maybe that song can help them, so with the grieving process, or they can resonate with it in a more positive way. So the song's still upbeat and things, and talking about sweet memories. So it's talking about, it's trying to get people to sort of focus on those memories in a more positive way, rather than, we tend to mourn and grieve, and um, really sort of stay concerned about the fact that we'll never get that again. But what we should be doing is remembering those best bits, remembering what we love them so much for, and kind of making sure that in that, then we keep those memories alive, and keep, the person that we're talking about alive in memory.
Wow, I love the idea. I love the idea for you to write something that to comfort people somehow. You know what I mean? As you said, we are lucky still to have our parents around us. However, some people they don't.
Yeah.
And it's amazing maybe to listen a song where they talk about something connect to that, and somehow they get comfort out of it. Great idea. What's the name of the song?
Sweet Memories is the name of the
Sweet
song.
Memory. Amazing. Okay, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey so far, okay?
Okay.
But before we start our journey within the Magic Box, would you like you to tell me something interesting about yourself, or maybe something that not many people know about you?
Oof. I'm bilingual, so I speak English and Welsh. I don't have a first language. I was kind of raised learning them both at the same time, so they're both, my dominant languages. English I use more in day-to-day life, but because everybody else speaks more English than Welsh. But yeah, there's that. And if I was to think, I like to play. I like to play rugby, and
Oh,
yeah,
wow, that's
yes,
interesting.
yes. Other than that, like, I mean, obviously I was never world class at it, but yeah, it's still something I like doing, and yeah, that's
Oh, wow.
it, I think.
And so do you consider yourself your first language to be Welsh or English?
I would say, like, from the get-go, I didn't really have a first language, but if I was to choose a dominant language now, I would say English, just because I use it more, throughout every single day with other people.
I see. I see. And Welsh, do you use when you talk maybe to your parents, or there is a occasion like through your day that you talk Welsh as well?
Um, so yeah, I would tend to do it with, obviously, my mother. My mother went to our school. I'm the eldest of four siblings, so my the second brother in line also went to the same school as me. Excuse me. But then my two younger siblings went to English school, so then it wasn't really necessary to keep it going. But
Right.
I would honestly, if I was able to get like a job or something where I could use the language, I would absolutely take it, because I want to keep the language. I don't want it to die off just because I don't use it enough.
That's amazing. I love that. Jordan, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views? Ready?
Ready?
Welcome to William in the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Full of random fun questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just for us to relax before the first question, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. Right, so before I start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to answer, don't want to talk about, always can change, okay?
Yep.
Amazing. First question is, tell me something that your best friends, what do they do that always comforts you the most?
Something that my best friends would do that comforts me.
Yeah, the most.
I think the one thing that I would say would always come if I was going through like a bad period, or I needed a friend to comfort me, my go-to thing would be to go for a drive and just blast out music in the car. Just go for a nice drive and just blast out music, sing our hearts out in the car. I think that really like resonates with the soul, and I think that really helps
Tell
improve
me,
my well-being.
what's the biggest difference between you and your best friends, and the biggest similarity?
Biggest similarity would probably be like our interests. Like the majority of my friends have the interest of like something like rugby or music.
Mhm.
Um, biggest differences, I would actually say my biggest one is probably the fact that I'm a Christian, and none of my close friends are. Um, until recent, I have had a friend of mine, start going into Christianity very recently, but on an average for the people that I've gone through life with, that's tended to be the biggest difference is the fact that they've lacked the Christian element in comparison to me.
How often do you play rugby?
I used to play it every single weekend. I haven't played it in a good while. Last year I tore my hamstring, so I was out for a good while. And then, of course, then now the season started again. I've just had surgery, so I haven't actually played a game properly in like a year.
I see. All right. Next question. Let's do it. Hey, next question for you is, tough question now. If your plane was going down and you could call just one person to say goodbye, which person that would be and why?
Ooh.
Tough one.
I'm gonna say quite a mutual answer, just to keep the peace, I think. and, uh, I'll just say that's a very difficult question. Just thinking of keeping the peace. Let's just say to keep the peace, we'll say my best friend Reese.
Wow. And why is that? Why would you choose your best friend? Reese?
Because I think it would be a lot more difficult to call a family member and say goodbye.
Right.
I think, and that's no offense to my friend. Obviously,
Of course not.
he's a beautiful human and things, and I love him to bits. But I think it would be the most horrifying thing to like have to ring the person you love the most and be like, this is the last time we're ever going to talk. I think
Oh my,
I thinking about it is horrendous. I don't even want to like think about it.
oh my God, you're so right. I think sometimes we need to be more sensible about that because, of course, people who you love, you just want to tell them. However, in this situation, it can be a bit tricky. You know what I mean? I get your
Yeah,
point
it's
for
like,
sure.
are you hurting them more in the process by putting them as the last thing? The last thing they would hear is your horrifying noise before your imminent death in that situation. So is it really best you ring them and make sure that that's the last thing they hear is your screams?
I'm gonna share a story with you. It's funny now, but the time wasn't funny at all. I had hit a lovely man from Connecticut, no, from Kentucky in the US. And he said to me, when this question came up, he said, William, actually, this happened to me. And the plane was literally going down, and he picked up the phone and he called his mom. Yeah, he was telling his mom about it, that was happening, this and that. Luckily, and suddenly the call stopped. You know what I mean? They cut the call for.
Okay, cool.
Guess what happened? So the plane somehow they managed to kind of find a way out.
Oh
So
wow.
imagine his mom through this, I don't know, to 1 hour and a half wait thinking that, can you
Oh
imagine?
yeah, that is horrible.
It's horrible. So he shared
That is
that here.
exactly why I wouldn't want it happening. To do that myself. No, yeah.
So yeah, he shared this moment that he couldn't believe, said William, and suddenly everything went wrong in the end. But until the security thing, fire alarm, the other thing that you need to follow came out, it took like almost 2 hours for him to pick up another phone and call his mom to say everything was right. So imagine the relief as well
The
afterwards.
worst 2 hours of her life, I bet.
Can you imagine? Anyway, next question. Jordan, so before the next question, as I could see your eyes shining talking about, your career. So tell me, what's the biggest joy of you of being a musician? What do you like the most about it?
Ooh. I think the freedom of creativity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like you have authors writing books. They get to let their imagination run wild, and you got people who like doing like their favorite sport. They just get to like exploit their best ability. I think with songwriting, it is an art. And, it's more so than the singing, really. I think to have
Right.
like that ability to be able to just come up with lyrics and create a story of some sort through um this style of singing that's able to then resonate with other people, or just, in some
Hmm.
sort it will at least resonate with one person. It just will.
Right.
Um, and I think having control of that and being able to even be the reason somebody, finds their day just a little bit simpler, they find joy in it, they find some sort of um, relief through the grief. Is
Yeah.
I think having that sort of ability is really inspiring, to be honest. That you can inspire the next generation of songwriters, amongst all the other things I just said, but obviously helping those people get through those times as well.
And what's your big inspiration for you to write your songs?
My biggest inspiration in terms of my music and my songwriting things, I would say, is probably my dad.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah, so my dad is like the go-to musician in our family. When people think, oh, name a musician in your family, it's my dad. People think about he plays guitar. He's also the pastor of my church, but he also does the worship at the front as well. So he plays the guitar and sings and things. And I think, yeah, I would say growing up, then he's the man then that I've looked up to in that respect. So yeah, I think yeah, it's definitely my dad.
Okay. All right. So your dad is watching this interview right now and you have a moment and opportunity to send him a message. What would you say he's watching?
Whew. I would, if I was talking directly to my dad, I think yeah, obviously I'd have to tell him that I love him. I'd have to tell him that regardless of the teaching techniques me have, sometimes certain things how harsh you can be, that I understand that they are for the best, and he is just trying to make sure that I am 100% at all times, and for that I will always be grateful to him.
Beautiful. Okay. Next question is, oh, tell me something interesting about yourself. You already talked about that, so I can get another question for you. Right. Next question is, what motivates you the most in life?
I think like I'm quite an ambitious person, so
Mhm.
like the drive to, excuse me, the drive to reach certain targets. And I want a nice home, I want a nice car, I want a nice family, and I know for me, obviously, do I want to do something that I love, be good at it, and create a career out of it. So I know how
Uh-huh.
hard it is to breach the music market, but I have faith in myself. I have faith that I can do it, and I have the ambition and the drive to do so in order to get those things that I want.
Wow. Saying that, what's the biggest joy of being Jordan? What do you like the most about being you?
I think I'm probably one of like, and I don't even mean this from a biased perspective, but like I think I am genuinely one of the easiest people to get along with. I'm very,
Mhm.
very outgoing and very just like laid back. So most people, you get a lot of people who say, "Oh, I'm a little shy in things," but like I'm like, I guarantee you, one conversation with me and you'll be fine. And yeah, I can bring people out of their shells, just be laid back, have a laugh, and just enjoy yourself.
And you've always been this way?
I would say since the end of school, I think really going through certain events in my life have really like turned me into the individual that I am today. So obviously you got like the bullying thing from school and music that really would have sort of hardened my shell a little bit, but then put the perspective in my mind that you should always be nice to people, because I've been at the other end of the stick and I know that it's not nice. And then obviously I've gone through um obviously I won't delve too much into this, but I've gone through certain relationships in my life that have really
Yeah.
sort of added to the sort of like being a bit harder in terms of um keeping yourself together, always backing yourself, and just being able to be independent, being
Mhm.
able to rely on yourself. And so through all that, I think, yeah, I mean, doing pretty okay.
As you shared before, those situations at school about the bullying side, about, the music thing.
Yeah.
Um, besides that, did you like school growing up or was something tricky for you?
Did I like school growing up? Sure, I was never the worst in school. I was pretty academically okay. I didn't really spell things wrong. Numerically, I'm very good at my math. So I did pretty well in school. I did get to a point. I was probably 14, I think, when some misbehavior sort of kicked in, possibly, hanging around with the wrong friends and that kind of stuff. But all in all, yeah, I think the whole journey of school was, a fundamental, sort of point of growing up and becoming the person I am today.
And who was your favorite teacher at the time?
My favorite teacher, who that was a good question, and it would. Whew. I always had a soft spot for a teacher, and my math teacher actually, called her name was Mrs. Galozzi.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, and then of course my form tutor as well, Miss Timothy, who I know she's married now, but she'll always be Miss Timothy to me. Um, but yeah, and funny enough, she was also a math teacher.
Wow. That's why you got as well this connection with math as well. You were very good at it because you had this good connection with your teachers as well. Do you think all
I
combined?
I think I've always from a very young age been good at math. Even in my sort of primary school education and things, I was always a step ahead.
Right.
I remember being in like I've been about 10 years old doing 13-year-olds math work in school and things, and
Wow.
uh, yeah, having like these test papers from the comp and stuff. And I have this like one memory of being in year three and year four were together, and then year five and year six. I remember being in the year three and four class, and sometimes they make us recite times tables. And
Right.
I remember doing so well on one of them. I think I'd learned my 14 times tables when I was in year four. And
Wow.
so my teacher at the time, Miss Monaco, I think, for I'm getting that right, pulled me up to the class up, the year five, six class, and just wanted me to
What?
recite it in front of that class. And that was just one of like the funniest, but fondest memories I have of primary school.
Wow. Amazing. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, next question for you is, do you know anyone who is living their life to the fullest?
Do I know anybody that is living their life to the fullest? I think the best example of somebody that I can give that is probably living their life to the fullest, or doing their best to live out their dream. I can name two people. I can't really decide between them, um, in different ways, but they both obviously relate to my music journey and they helped me a lot through it. But their names are Jim and Jason.
Wow.
And so Jason's a singer himself as well. He's just finished doing a tour, and he's now obviously just taking a bit of a break and things. But he's in the middle of working on an album, and he's doing what he loves. He's living to the fullest. He's done all his touring, and he loves it. And yeah, I think that man is really sort of an inspiration in terms of the music world. Of really, you don't have to just make one song, it blasts, and that's it. Like there is sort of like this path that you can take, and just take your time, enjoy the journey, and that's that. And as for Jim is my producer, and
Wow.
Jim is somebody who Jason actually convinced to take it up full time. And I think as soon as he took that leap of faith and started doing it full time, he really is doing what he loves now. And he has taken that leap of faith, and now he is living life to the fullest, doing what he loves, and he's able to then go and do the other things he enjoys more so, because he's in a more, I'd say, mentally safer space, healthier place with his partner and things. And yeah.
I see. Amazing. 3 questions left. Let's do it. You like dancing, Jordan?
Do I like dancing? Um, I'm not, I'm not the best at dancing. I can like my signature move. If once, like, I'm not somebody that gets drunk. I don't get drunk. I haven't done it in over 2 years, but I will still have a drink. And once I've had a drink, I will pull out the worm on the dance floor. I can't do a good worm, but other than that, I think I'm limited to that dance move, to be honest.
Tell me what rugby has taught you so far through your life.
I think the lifestyle of rugby, especially at amateur level, when you're doing it for your local village club and things, it
Mm-hmm.
it definitely teaches you resilience.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're gonna get through moments where teams are very clicky. You have the people who are favorites, and then if you sort of then slot outside of that favorite group, you're gonna have a harder time. I don't necessarily mean that to a degree of like being ignored or just being put to the side completely,
Mm-hmm.
but you find that you really have got to fight for your space more in terms of on the team or even in the click itself. If you can't really put it together and keep consistent in terms of your playing and things like that, you are just going to be looked at as not so reliable in terms of being on the field. And I think those two things are connected internally in terms of being in the click and your performance on the pitch. If you do poor on the pitch, your level of or your position in the click is just going to go down. But yeah, the resilience of knowing that and just continue with it and just doing it because it's something that I love is something that has seriously told me to stick with.
I see. Okay. Next question is, what hurt your feelings?
What hurts my feelings? I would say I'm a pretty, even when it comes to joking and things, I'm pretty good, pretty resilient in that kind of way. I think if I was to name one thing that I just really can't joke about and it would really bother me if people started to, and it has in the past, is my faith. I can't, when people, and I know Christianity as a whole is probably the religion or faith that is mocked or taken the mick out of the most, or is the most socially accepted to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you definitely feel that when you belong to that community, like in the workplace and things is where I've experienced it the most. Um, in past workplaces, I've had a lot of, I would say, religious discrimination.
Okay.
And people just don't take you seriously. You can ask as many times as you like for somebody to not do it. It just makes them do it more, and to the point then where you feel you have no choice but to then take it further, or you never take it further or just shut up and take it, and it can be quite mentally challenging at times.
Do you cry easily?
No, absolutely not. No.
Why? Tell me the last time you cried and why, if you can share.
I don't know the last time I cried.
Oh,
I
wow.
actually don't know. I can't remember. I have no sort of recollection of when the last time was that I cried. It was probably at a funeral of some sort or something like that. If I was just to pick something easy, but I genuinely can't remember the last time I cried.
Okay. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Before the next question, let's do a little game. So let's tell me 3 names of 3 big artists that you've always been inspired by in the music industry.
I think as of recent, I like one of the names I have to pick is Jason that I mentioned before. Obviously, not long term, but since I've met him, and he's really like sort of pushed me and inspired me to start my own music journey. Like Jim is his producer also, and I met Jim through him, and
Okay.
it really has given me that push to go out of my comfort zone and do that. So that's why I would pick Jason as the first and foremost.
Okay.
Other people, Alex Warren being another one. Alex, we're the same age, and he's accomplished so much in the last year in music is absolutely insane. And to be the same age as me, but living life to the fullest, and like he is, and being able just to smash it is really inspiring. And finally, I will say at the moment the way things are going, there's this guy that I recently got become very friendly with and things. His name's Raymond Salgado. And I'm sure he would really will appreciate this mention as well. But yeah, just the guy's temperament and just the way he looks at life, the value he sort of puts on life is really inspiring. Like, he's been through, troubles of his own. He's had sort of his own sort of delays and things in the music industry. but he's just stuck at it, and he's kept going, and it's genuinely inspiring now to see that the first song that he's currently teasing is now making some headway, and it's really become popular on TikTok and things. And yeah, the guy just deserves it, and honestly, I wish him the best.
Okay, so one day you're gonna wake up in the morning having 3 missed calls on your phone from those 3 you just mentioned right now. Which one you call back straight away? Which one you send a message? I'll call you back later. And the third one, you don't call back, you don't send a message, just ignore him. Tell me. I know it's hard.
This would be quite. A lot of people probably won't even believe this just because of the way people think. But I think the person I would ignore is Alex Warren. I know he's the biggest guy out of them, but he's the guy I don't have a relationship with. He's the guy I don't really have a connection to. And if I had to pick, obviously, if I had the choice to answer all of them, I would answer all of them. But if I really had to pick, and I only had one call left, one text left, and one, I had to ignore, then Alex Warren is the one getting ignored, just because I'm like, it could be for something. It could be an opportunity of a lifetime, or it could just be him telling me, can you not like comment on my things again? I was like, oh, right, okay, cool. The callback, I think, is going to have to be Jason, and the text back rate. Obviously, Jason's given so much to me, obviously, since we met in May, and he's given me opportunities in terms of, I've opened up at his shows, and the relationship we've actually grown together is one that I cherish. Raymond, I'm sure he won't mind me saying this. Just saying the text, because we haven't known each other as long. We are still forming that sort of friendship, and yeah, I hope it develops more and more.
I love your answer. I love the way you somehow you managed to answer this question, because there is something meaningful behind, and you appreciate those 3, but in a different way, or it's just where you are right now, the moment. It's sometimes maybe in a week time you change your answer, or maybe then you never know. But however, at this moment when I ask the question, it does not genuinely came into your mind. I think I like that. I like your answer. Very genuine. Amazing. They're gonna be very happy watching this interview for sure.
Let's hope so. Maybe
right.
not Warren.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, oops, okay. I just want to make sure I'm not gonna call him never. I was
yeah, I'm not gonna call him.
You can blame me, okay? You can blame me.
Yeah.
Right, next question is, what do you like to cook the most?
What do I like to cook the most? Honestly, I'm not the best cook. Like it's not something I have too much experience with. But in terms of, if let's say I had a cookbook in front of me and I was really feeling up to cooking, it would have to be some sort of Italian dish, like a pasta dish or something like that.
And there is anything that you don't like to eat at all, or you cannot eat? It's not your cup of tea?
I mean, I'm not the best of eaters in terms, like, I can be quite fussy. Like, I'm not the best with my veggies, I will say.
Right.
However, if I had to choose a worst food, there's a tiebreaker. It's Brussels sprouts and mushrooms. I absolutely hate them. I absolutely cannot stand them.
I love mushroom soup. Soup.
Honestly, they make me feel sick.
And what's one food you could eat for the rest of your life?
Ooh.
You'd never get sick of it. Like, if you could eat every day, you would always be happy.
You know what? A lot of people probably won't like this answer, but tuna, like tuna with pasta, or tuna in some sort of dish. Yeah, a tuna pasta bake. Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. Last question. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Last question. Actually, how do I say last question in Welsh?
Question olaf.
Question olaf.
Question olaf.
Question olaf.
Yeah.
Amazing. Let's do it. Right, before the last question, tell me a moment in your career that, so far you're never gonna forget. Could be anything, that you go like, you know what, this moment I always cherish, I always gonna be close to my heart.
It would definitely be. It was actually on my song release day that I opened up for Jason in Liverpool. And I sang my own song live for the first time to an audience, and it was on the release day, so that song had only been out, less than 24 hours. And I had people in the crowd. I could see people in the crowd singing my song back to me, and
Amazing.
my voice went a bit wobbly when I was in the middle of singing my song because I started getting all emotional. I was like, I nearly cried, but I didn't. And so, but it really was one of those, like, my eyes just starting to go a bit soggy. I was like, oh wow, I didn't think it, like, you know, hit me like that, but it did. But
Wow,
that'll always be a moment that I cherish. Just, seeing that for the first time. I don't think, you know anything will beat the first time experience.
wow. You know what? Back to the question before, when I see if you cry easily, it would be very easy if you had cried on this concert. You'll remember
Yeah,
for sure.
that would be, yeah, and yeah, an exception.
Love it. Next question, last question is, what makes you feel discouraged?
So it's probably like a guilty admission of mine, but where people, like I said, when I said the message to my dad earlier, of saying how he may say things I don't like, but I know he's doing it for the best.
Yeah.
Whenever, like, I may be singing in the house and he will just plain outright just look at me and go, "That was awful." And I know he's saying it, so I'd try it again and do better. But in the moment, it is the most discouraging thing ever, and it
I can,
really makes me just want to go, "I'm not doing it again." Like, I mean, like, it really puts me down, and in the moment, it's horrible. Yeah, there's nothing worse.
but
But I know he's doing it for a good reason.
of course, he comes from a good place for sure. And he can give some credit as well when he thinks that you're doing well, that you did like a good vocal. He can kind
Yeah,
of,
yeah, absolutely. Like, when I actually recorded the song, and like, my parents heard it for the first time, like, they were over the moon. Like, and then when I released my song, like, I was getting calls of my dad telling me that my mother will not stop playing it on repeat, and it's playing on the
oh,
Alexa in the house, and he's getting
really?
fed up with hearing my voice.
Oh, that's sweet. Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. I'm going to say some words. There's the one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Right.
Let's start with money,
Success.
fear,
Bravery.
life,
Oh, that was morbid. Death.
family,
Love.
religion,
Christianity.
love,
Emotion.
politics,
No.
sex,
Connection.
friendship,
Trust.
desire,
Lust.
regret,
Doubt.
success,
Win.
wish,
Dream.
happiness.
Loneliness.
One word for South Wales.
A word for South Wales.
Yeah?
Pride.
Say again?
Pride.
One word for Wales.
I should use pride for that one. Rugby. I'll use the word rugby.
And one word for rugby.
Sport.
Of course. One word for musician.
Inspiration.
One word for songwriter.
Storyteller.
And the last one, one word for music.
I was gonna say the word soul, but obviously out of context, it doesn't make sense.
No right or wrong.
Yeah, soul.
Okay. And actually, one more. You mentioned that your new song is called Sweet Memories, yeah?
Yeah.
If you could define one word your song, what that would be? Sweet Memories.
Sweet Memories defined in one word.
Yeah.
Relatable.
Wow. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your best friend, the one you mentioned in the interview, Reese, yeah? You mentioned?
Yeah.
I'm going to meet him for coffee, and I'm going to ask him, define Jordan in one positive and one negative word only. What he would say about you?
So one positive quality and one negative quality.
Yeah.
Positive, I think you would probably go for I'm trying to think of the word for it. Encouraging.
Okay.
Negative, I think you would go for what's the word for you always put yourself down. I can't think of the word for it.
You have this ability of put yourself down sometimes. That's what you mean.
Yeah, I never give myself credit, but I cannot think of the word for it.
I see. And if I would ask the same question to your dad, it would be the same answer?
No, there wouldn't be the same answers, no.
What he would say? One positive and one negative.
So my dad would say that I'm always joyful.
Okay.
And the downside being that I can be quite harsh.
Okay. Let's play now Jordan and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. But before you ask the question, people, when they come to see your gigs, they come to see you performing. What's something that would you like people to take with them? What's something that, you wanted to make sure, or something that you wish that they could always take with them when they come to see you?
I just want people to, when I obviously do my own gigs and things, I just want people to leave just feeling, like they really experienced sort of like a second family. It's just a group of people that are all able to resonate with the songs in some sort of way. They're all feeling some sort of like loss, loneliness, and some sort of negative feeling, and that through my music that they can have some sort of even if it's temporary, but some healing.
I like that. Amazing. Okay, Jordan, you can ask me a question now.
Yeah, the question I have for you was, what was the defining moment in your life that kind of like led to you being where you are now? And I don't mean just like obviously doing these interviews. I mean in general, wherever your job is, where you are in life, in your home and things. What was the defining moment that made you go, I'm gonna get here?
Great question. Great question. Back in Brazil, I'm originally from Brazil, and
Okay.
when I was 19-year-old, I literally left my family, my friends, my life in Brazil, and across all the way to Portugal on my own to start a new life. So I think that moment for me was like a moment that, it changed everything, because back in Brazil, I was already living on my own. However, my parents were like 3 hours away from me. So there was always a plan B. Yeah, there was always a plan
Yeah, yeah.
B. When I arrived in Portugal, it was not plan B anymore, just plan A. And I just literally, I had 300 euros in my pocket, to start a new life. And that for me, I realized straight away that, okay, now there's no plan B anymore, and be in a country where we speak the same language, but different accent. Fun enough, I never heard a Portuguese person talk in my life until I arrived in Portugal, which I was
Yeah.
like, oh God. And it's funny because, I was in Porto, and the accent, oh my God, I couldn't believe I was living in a country where they speak Portuguese, because I couldn't understand a word. And they got used to our. It's funny because, Brazil is massive and Portugal is
Yeah,
very small.
yeah,
So, of course, I knew about Portugal, the history thing with being colonized, all of that. However, I never heard a Portuguese person talk in my life, and until I arrived there. And they know our culture very well, because they show on TV Brazilian soap opera, Brazilian music is very popular there, the Brazilian football players, so they know our culture very well. And
there's
they
a
got,
there's a Brazilian song that I absolutely love called Danza Kuduro. It's like a bit of a dancey Brazilian
yeah,
Portuguese
Yeah.
speaking song, and I absolutely, it's one of my favorites.
So yeah, so they got used to our accent, the way we talk, our culture. But for us, it's different because I got there, I was like, oh my God, I couldn't literally understand they were talking. So back to your question, for me it was very hard because I need to adjust myself to a new culture, a new country, a new place. Everything for me was new. And I was 19-year-old on my own. So imagine without friends, without anyone. So for me, there was a defined moment in my life because I thought, okay, it's me now. I just depend on me now. So I would answer your question this way because for me it was a powerful moment, and I'm so grateful for that moment. It wasn't easy, yeah. However, I'm so grateful for every beat I went through until now because it made the person I am right now. And I'm so grateful
Mm.
for this opportunity. I don't think if I had a child, if I would let them travel the world alone at 19-year-old. However, I'm so grateful for that opportunity, and I went through that because it defined the person I am today, and I feel so happy the way where I am right now because I think all of that counted. So yeah, I think that was like a pivot moment in my life where, and I didn't realize that. I just realized when I arrived here. I was like, okay, I'm here now. You know what I mean? So for me, definitely that would be my answer for you. And of course, I could share others as well, but this one was like life changing. That's
The
for sure.
moment.
Yeah, the big moment. So yeah, great question.
Amazing.
Did you enjoy the interview, Jordan?
Yeah, it was definitely eye-opening. It was definitely different, but yeah, I definitely enjoyed this. It was pretty good. Yeah,
Thanks again. Again, I'm gonna say thanks for you to be able to take the time on this day that you're not feeling your 100%, and I
absolutely.
think it's amazing to hear. I love to have passionate people here on the show. I love to see people, shining their eyes when they talk about their career, about their business, about their place where they are right now.
Mm.
So it's visible to see. Carry on with your music, and I can't wait one day to come to see their gig in your gigs and have the best of your life.
Thank you so much.
Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
I think the one I kind of started living by is that you will miss out on every single opportunity you don't take. So make sure to take every single one you can.
Amazing. Very good. Thanks again. Thanks for the interview. Regards to your family and friends, and you keep in touch and well recovered, okay? Keep yourself well.
Thank you very much. You too.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.